up, everybody? Today we have a special guest, not only entrepreneur, local entrepreneur, happens to be a friend of mine, father, husband, Rotarian. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Sir.
And his name is Matt Sandherr from Naples Tint. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Keith.
It's good to see you.
Oh, likewise.
This has been a long time coming.
I know. I've been watching this kind of off and on, everything you've been posting for a while, and you're doing great.
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
No, definitely.
We get a lot of hate, so it's nice to get some positive comments. Why don't you explain, before we get into some of the deep diving questions I have for you, tell everybody your quick elevator pitch, who you are, and when you started.
When I started? Well, my name's Matt Sandherr, and I started Naples Tint in 2015. And basically, I had been doing window tinting in Pennsylvania for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
So I was in the field already, knew what I was doing, I thought, and we sold everything, started over, came down here. Naples Tint Company is really grown and become diverse. And, thanks to our relationship with, contractors and glass people like yourselves, Naples Tint Company really does a lot of decorative glass solutions. We also have your traditional window tinting options, solar control and automotive, which, we've really strived to be exceptional with that as well. But the last couple of years has been really exciting to the point that now we're manufacturing our own custom films. So small team, small group, kind of a boutique, kind of a business, never really went after scale. It's really just been, a quality niche sector that we service, and it's been a great alignment with, again, a lot of people like yourself that kind of go after those unique projects. So it's been a hell of a ride.
I can tell you, first of all, a huge congratulations on what you and your team has built. I do not, for anybody that knows me knows this, I don't refer a lot of people. I'm a big believer there's not a lot of upside when referring somebody. There's a lot more downs. The juice isn't almost worth the squeeze. That said, there's about 4 people that I have that I feel comfortable enough to refer because I know I'm not going to get any backlash. And I believe, and of course you're one of them, and I believe
Thank
the
you.
reason why that is the company hasn't got to the point where you as an operator is not involved in the day-to-day operations. And that's where the brand is made. You can scale a business and probably be profitable, but you're not going to carry the same kind of value as you do because you're on the job. You're speaking to the customers. That's your name. And so I always like, if you look at the 4 or 5 people that I do refer, the owner still has his boots on the ground doing the work, and it's going to get done because they want to preserve their autonomy. They want to stay true to their word. That's what brought them to the game in the first place.
It's a different approach. I see, most businesses do get a point. Maybe the growth is so high that the passion that started it may disappear. I really have found something and have been involved in window tinting for 20 years, and I get to share that passion with a couple of my guys that have been around that long as well. And I think for any business in that specific trade, whether it's anything else, you have to love what you do and want to do it for that reason. Where you do have a whole slew of other people that are just doing it, hey, this is a good business idea, and I'm going to follow this. I'm going to do window tinting, and we're going to sell all these things and make money doing it, which is, it's
an option, but
it works, but it's not the right approach.
You can tell when you're dealing with somebody who obsesses over their business like you do. It's obvious. Since 15, so you're talking about 10-year relationship now, there hasn't been one single time. Now, I don't call you a lot, but there hasn't been one time that I've called you that you haven't answered the phone. And I don't know that I can say that for a lot of people, even in myself. You've answered my call every fucking time I've called, and that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Well, it says a lot about the relationship, and you talk about this too with contractors. When you have a contractor that respects your knowledge and what you have to do your job as well as you can, you drop everything for them. The ones that are there, they say, you know, hey, you're the guy. I know that we have this problem, and then you can solve it. They're not splitting hairs over details like, oh, maybe I can get somebody for a little bit less, or, you know, something different, or you know, they're concerned about the outcome. And again, that's your boots on the ground, passionate about the results that you get for your customers. So, you know, the same thing. I can count on one hand, you know, contractors and people like yourself that are in that space. Most others drop the ball. The communication's not there. You know, the respect's not there. It's different.
I think this is a good segue. Tell me, what has been the biggest hurdle that you've had to deal with since operating and opening your business here in 2015 till now? What do you think that's been?
Just the fact that, you know, day one, I was changing the toilet paper, building the website, tinting the cars, tinting the houses, selling the jobs, you know, going to the networking groups, to a point where I can work on the business more and have people that I can trust to do the work. And I think every company goes through that. You go through that, I mean, of the scale that you're at too. I mean, trying to find people that can share your vision and be the same way that you would be with the results of a job. You know, can't sleep at night because they messed up a window or something like that. But yeah, I would say you're building a team. You know, building a good team for anybody is a huge challenge.
It's a massive, and it's the most important. The reason why it's so challenging is because it's the most important. I think Gary Vee talks about this. Customer service is important, and it's a very close second. But without your team, you cannot service. It's like on an airplane. You have to put the oxygen mask on first before you can take care of anyone else. And taking care of your team is massive. And so building one should be difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, a good one.
Because it's the most important thing. That's why when people say, well, you seem busy or expensive. Well, no shit, because we're the best.
Well, you've got the best paid people, too.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
We should be.
Right.
We should be.
Yeah.
Is there a piece of advice that you could give to anybody that's starting a young entrepreneur that's electing maybe not to go to college and wants to start working, or maybe leave a career because the culture sucks and they want to start their own business?
Sure.
What would be a core piece of advice that you would give to an entrepreneur today?
Okay. Well, it's to stay the course, really. I feel the biggest thing that people get is discouraged. You know, I see a lot of people start a business and they're on the tail end of it. They want to get out of it 6 months into it because they didn't expect it to be as hard. They didn't expect the problems to be as big. But then as they're getting out, all of a sudden the phone is ringing more. Like they didn't wait long enough and get through that other level of it. And yeah, that's really it. I mean, stay the course. I mean, stay in one section long enough to get to the good side.
I agree with that. They say that, I think it was the Better Business Bureau or maybe Chamber of Commerce says 90% of businesses new businesses will fail in the first 2 years. 90%. It actually jumps up to 95% to the 5-year mark. But if you make it to the 5-year mark, it flips to like a 5% fail rate. And the reason for that is, okay, you got to start building your team, because you're an operator, so you start out at the beginning. Now you're starting to grow, so you got to build a team. Well, in year 2, if that team member is doing good, they need a raise. But did you have the courage to raise your prices? Did you know how to sell? Are you saving your money? And by year 5, you're going through these cash flow cycles of growth, reinvestment, and a lot of operators don't have the business acumen to pay attention to that, and so they get frustrated. You know, being an entrepreneur, you almost have to be crazy. But I think you're right. It would almost be unfair to the people that have struggled so hard being an entrepreneur if you just started day 1 and you're profitable. It just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't happen.
and so staying the course is such good advice because it's so important. And you're not going to see really your benefits from your hard work until you make all these failures. So if you're getting frustrated, no, that's a good thing, because how many mistakes did you make in the beginning?
Oh, and
I still make
every week there's something, but you and I guess that's one thing too, is that not everybody realizes that everything that can wreck your world at one point. You'll be numb to the pain. You'll see it coming. All right, we're going to get through this, and all of a sudden you stop focusing on, today's fire because it's going to be out in a couple of days, a couple of weeks. Like, all right, this happened. Step 2, this is how we're going to fix it. I can't wait until we fix it. But you have that little window there where you're comfortable finally. And there's still things that make me uncomfortable, but it's been long enough now. I mean, we could have all kinds of stuff happen. Sometimes 5 or 6 things in a day where it did not go as planned, and it's going the other way. I'm sure you guys have them. I mean, you're pulling glass out. You probably got glass.
I wear a cup to work now because I get kicked in the balls every day.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Then we'll get through it. It'll be good. I mean, if everything goes amazing, for an entire week, I mean,
I get actually
weird.
a little nervous because I know, it's the calm before the storm.
Yeah, I get anxiety.
If you were now knowing all, you went through that, you stayed the course, you've built a team. But if you had to start over again, what would you really focus so you could try and scale it back up to where you're at that you didn't know in the beginning?
Well, I think I've just learned so much about the market. I think that big gap from when we moved here until now, I went from a primarily automotive business in Pennsylvania. The real estate, I mean, a good piece of real estate up there was like $350,000. So this stuff I see down here is like things out of a magazine. I mean, it's a whole nother world. But also application-wise, to really understand and learn and figure out what the market really needs, it's hard to research that from a computer. I mean, you can start a business and just assume like this is going to sell and this is going to work. And I'd say, 90% of the things I thought of in the beginning are you can all those things. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, starting over, I guess it would be more, if we're talking about day one, yes. I sold my business, I moved into a different market, but still in Florida, and tried to start this over again. Obviously it'd be a whole different approach. And again, I'd probably get kicked in the balls again, every day for a year. But you would
start something, where the fruit's hanging and you're going to try and grab it, but you're still going to have failures. Absolutely.
Oh, all day.
What about social media? Tell me about social media.
Man.
How have you integrated that? How has it grown for you? And is there any stories you can share that maybe big deals you got out of?
Unfortunately, I haven't, because I'm so involved in the operation at this point still, it's hard for me to really focus social media properly. So
as well as you're doing, you haven't even really squeezed all the opportunities out of the social yet.
Correct. Yeah, I haven't leveraged that the way that I could. I actually, in the last 6 months, we record content and use somebody to edit and write the content just for posting reels. Sure. I mean, it's a very simple and basic approach. It's like $30 a reel, basically. They'll produce it, put the music in it, write the content for us to post. But even that, we get so busy that it's hard to shoot all the content. So I would say within the next 6 to 12 months, it's in my vision to have somebody inside the company. It might be on a part-time basis.
You should go to FGCU. They have, they're always in their business department. Dad was speaking up to recent. There's interns that are wanting to do job, and I feel like that's a sexy job for that demographic. An intern in college and business wanting to be a content creator. Your stuff is sexy, especially you got those octagon lights, you got the Tesla Cybertruck, you're on these cool job sites. I think a part-time person from FGCU in the business department too, because they get to see how you operate.
See small business. Could
set up a portal for you and start creating while they're there, but set up almost a pipeline for you to start doing that. It should be something you look at. Yeah. We're going to have a full-time person here starting probably in the beginning of next quarter that just follows Jay and I around, that'll produce these podcasts and do all those reels 3, 4, 5 times a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, what we identified as the rub, and the true rub of social media has been, is it's actually shortening our sales cycle. Remember Dale Carnegie, the Dale Carnegie classes?
Oh, yeah.
He had a white paper that said, if 2 people didn't know each other, So I have a brand new car that I want window tinted, and you're a window tint guy, and we meet at a restaurant or at a function. We start talking, and you have identified that I am looking for window tint, and you have it. Dale Carnegie said on average we need to have 7 to 10 touches before we will build up enough rapport with each other in order to trade money for goods and services. 7 to 10 on average, okay? We're posting 4 to 5 times a day across 4 platforms. We're getting all these innocuous touches, and what Jay and I've realized is when we meet a new opportunity, if they had digested any of our content, either on the first interaction, no more than the second, we're able to collaborate. And as much time as it takes in doing the social media, it's actually sped up our sales cycle because we don't have to have all these touches like Dale Carnegie was saying. Plus, we're branding the business at the same time. And it was hard for us to, because people in the beginning are hating, oh, doing another TikTok here. When do you do any work? They just didn't see the value in it. But when you really see it like that,
Sure.
our sales cycle is really condensing. It's massively important. Where a lot of people are just chasing the views. Oh, you're only getting 300-400 views. You're not really doing anything that big. Huh. Doug and I, you're a pilot. We got a little plane.
Student pilot. Yeah.
We have a little Bonanza, and I was in it one time with Doug, and I said, hey, we could be anywhere in the state in 90 minutes. If the price is right, we'll fly tonight. The post got 200 views, probably collectively across all platforms. So on the face, you'd call that a failure.
Sure.
A guy out of Big Sky, Montana called. He ended up flying us out there to bid on this house. We got it. It was about $250,000. The next year, they had another spec house. We did it. So that's 2. It wasn't a fluke. So you're talking $500,000 worth of transactions off. It was a goof. I just did a selfie goof. So there is massive power in the innocuous touches like Dale Carnegie would talk about in the social media. So I would highly suggest to anybody to invest because it's a long game.
Sure.
It's a long tail approach. So, and your stuff's sexy. You've posted quite a bit, or you used to post a lot.
I do as much as I can because what we do is so unique. Nobody knows about it.
It is.
And that would make sense to bridge the gap, just so people just comfortably, oh, that's the company that does
You
that.
have to make them aware. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we came here in 2003, actually, nobody was advertising shower doors. There's not one glass business on Route 41. They would be typically in industrial parks, kind of off the beaten path, overhead garage door, the glass table. We kind of niched that out and made it more retail, like a jewelry store, and started advertising on TV, radio, and it almost created our own market. And I think that's what you're talking about. If people aren't even aware, because when you say window tint, people are like, oh, you mean like I go to Ace Hardware and I buy a palm tree and I put it on my slide? Like, no. This has evolved. It's not your grandparents' tint. Turtle coat applications, thermal properties. I think there's protective coatings you put over cars now to prevent scratching and what have you.
That's not our department, but I mean product-wise. I mean, there's marble countertop protective films. There's
glass stair tread protective films, jewelry cases.
We do jewelry cases, done.
Privacy. We get a lot of customers we tell about you when we're dealing with shower enclosures because they come in here and on the face they're like, oh, I want some privacy in the shower. But they just spent big bucks on the shower. That's $20,000, $30,000 on a tile job. And I would think you'd want clear glass. But some of them want a little bit of privacy. So then they say, well, what about that frosted? The problem with the frosted, it's way more expensive. Mm-hmm. It completely hides everything behind it. And you can never change it. It's like a tattoo. And I tell them the delta between clear and frosted is X. But if you went to a film, it's much cheaper and it hedges yourself. If in 5 years you get sick of it, it can come off. And it doesn't have to be the full thing. It can kind of be a partial. Your business has been a phenomenal solution and almost kind of like sidebar to our business, actually.
You have sent us so many people.
It helps us too.
And yeah, it's easier for you. Just, hey, sell a clear glass enclosure, customize it any way you like. And I guess that's where the manufacturing's helping us too, is that now we can really do things, gradients and designs.
How about that door we did in Barefoot Beach together? I had a customer that saw a piece of glass down at Ocean Prime. Was a single
Yes.
door with kind of that real geometric pattern, and you were able to replicate that. Was that something that you made?
No, that was well before.
But you
that,
could.
That was, but we can manufacture that now. I was outsourcing that,
At the
using a company to produce it for us. But yeah, I went to Ocean Prime, spoke to the owner. Nobody knew where that glass came from.
It was wild.
You couldn't even buy it.
Yeah.
So, it was a little bit of work, but I mean, we, like for like, completely replicated it.
I actually have photos of that. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna clip that. It came out really cool.
Yeah, we actually ended up doing another one upstairs. So I have
In the same house?
Yeah, a couple of pictures for you. One
make
with
sure you give me
view.
those.
That was like the 5th floor. It was one of those.
So what?
Super tall.
What is out of all the products that you're doing right now? Let's just list them. You're doing interior and exterior, if you will, residential homes, commercial building windows for either privacy or any thermal,
Solar control.
solar control. You're also providing solutions, window tinting for vehicles, and other applications where there's glass that you're trying to protect. What else?
Well, any loose glass, pretty much glass tables, cabinet glass. Basically any situation where a custom piece of glass is too expensive, not available tempered. Not only can we get a film similar to it that's already manufactured as a bulk material, but we could actually create a glass texture and manufacture it in-house. So a common one is chinchilla glass. You can spend thousands of dollars getting chinchilla glass inserts for your home, or we can manufacture chinchilla glass film and just put it on your existing glass. But solar control is big. All the high-rise condominiums, we have a product that's clear, doesn't change the appearance of one unit over the other, compatible with impact glass. Basically prevents them from having to buy new glass for the building.
When you say compatible with impact glass, what does that mean?
So impact glass is thicker,
Yes.
and it retains heat. So the film has to reflect the heat without absorbing it. Otherwise,
While staying clear.
right? Yeah. Well, it's just there's a slight hint of it that film actually
Hue.
pretty a hue, but non-reflective at all, and it's pretty advanced manufacturing. They sputter coat gold and silver at an atomic level, just such a thin layer of it that it reflects heat without being visually reflective.
Have you gone and seen where this is manufactured or how they make it?
It was actually designed in Dresden, Germany, like 24 years ago, and they manufactured it there till about 2007, and now Eastman manufactures that.
Really?
In Virginia.
Oh, no shit. We actually have an Eastman cutting table for our laminate up at the factory. Have you been to the factory lately?
Not
Tour?
lately, but
We got
I
some new
haven't seen your-
machinery.
I haven't seen your laminator.
Oh, you got to come up and check it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. So what else is going on?
Other than work,
I see you're an outdoorsman. What are you doing outside of work? So you're a student pilot, but you like to spend a lot of time outside. I could have swore I just saw you down in the Everglades. What were you doing down there?
yeah. So business is so crazy. Naples is so crazy. Everybody knows Naples is just a zoo, especially in season, Easter, spring break. I mean, just shoot me. The traffic, everything, restaurants, it's nuts. Not too many people capitalize on the fact that we have hundreds of thousands of acres of wilderness to explore. It's all accessible. There's, clean access points and hiking trails and camping sites, and it's a dark sky location. The stargazing is ridiculous. It's obviously not like out west, when you're at high elevation and things like that, but it's phenomenal, and it's right there. There's an access point 45 minutes from my house. I can drop in. I bike out, hike out, tent camp. My wife doesn't love it, but we have a Winnebago, and we do.
She does the glamping.
Yeah, we do some family camping, but yeah, last weekend we were out an area called Loop Road.
Yep.
And as I understand it, that was the original route of 41 there.
Oh, really?
And there was actually a camp out there that is rumored to be one of Al Capone's, like during Prohibition, one of his distillery areas. I mean, there's old trucks and stuff like that all jammed up in the woods. And
Are you kidding?
yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just badass.
You got any footage of that?
Yeah, I'll get some pictures for you to put up. Yeah, it's very cool. And And it's just you can get out into a place where you don't hear any road noise, you don't hear anything, maybe an airplane going over, and it helps. I mean, just to kind of unplug.
How often do you go down there?
Like once a month.
Oh, wow.
I would go a little bit more, but I do like family time too, and
Right.
we've got a million things going on, but yeah, I took my guys out there last weekend. It was like a company swamp buggy tour.
How was it?
And it was awesome because the guy running it was like a 6th, 7th generation Gladesman. So
It's in his
stories.
blood.
Yeah, tons of stories about things. Talk about the skunk ape and that kind of
Do
stuff.
you see any wildlife?
So we were on a trail and we were waiting for it to get dark because we were going to walk along Loop Road and try to look for snakes and whatever else is there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like I don't know, like 2 minutes into it, like a water moccasin struck at my foot within inches and coiled back up. Baby gators floating around in the water. Seth, who was with me, thought he saw a copperhead. I don't know if it was a water snake or not, but yeah, I've seen panther.
Oh, you have seen panthers out there.
Yeah, we were out running the roads. There's Turner Road, which is a super long dirt road. Just
Right.
running that at night, just spotting for whatever's there, snakes, wildlife, gators. And yeah, we saw a panther like a couple 100 feet in just kind of poke its head up. And it's just funny to me that there's thousands of pythons and we haven't seen one because they're so hard to find. But we saw a panther where there's like 200 of them.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, but it's cool. And everybody's afraid of alligators because of what they do in communities. And I feel like when they're in town, they're out of their normal circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're hungry. Something like a dog would normal prey to them. So there's things that happen
It's a
in town.
delicacy.
Yeah, it's a quick meal.
Yeah.
So there's things that happen in town that I don't think would ever happen out there. Because when we're hiking through water, we're hiking through knee deep, thigh deep water, and all the wildlife just scatters. Because
I want to go out there one of these weekends when you
Yeah.
can take the guys out there. I'm a big fan of like Duels of Art. I was going to say Naked and Afraid, but that's not what I
Well,
want to
that's
do.
what
I'm
we're
just saying.
doing.
But the whole survival and exploring, not having to deal with the day-to-day of, typical Western civilization, to just kind of go out in the woods and explore.
Yeah,
I think that's cool,
unplug.
kind of detach and unplug.
yeah, it's
That's cool.
Yeah, we don't really sleep great because
Yeah.
it's kind of noisy at
I don't
night.
sleep great anyway.
Yeah, no, I
Take about 100 pisses a night.
Exactly. And I'm doing everything I can. Air mattresses, battery powered fans, like try to be as comfortable as I can. But at the end of the day, like who am I kidding?
Yeah.
I'm not going there to sleep. We're in the woods.
Let's talk about, I wanted to ask you this because, we're doing a project at the Turtle Club, which you are also going to be a part of. It's going to be a cool collab
Oh, yeah.
with Mick Moore, who I have a lot of respect for. But when I was down there the other day doing some work and measuring, I said something, and all of a sudden this guy's head pops around the corner, and I did not expect to see this person there. Not only did I see him there, he had a tool belt on, which really blew my mind. But it was Mr. Fritz Sullivan, who's been a longtime good, loyal customer of ours who we really enjoy. Him and I always bust each other's balls because he's a Yankees fan, I'm a Red Sox fan. But when we were talking about the window film, both of us at the same time said your name, but he followed it up with, well, Mick, he's a Rotarian. Did I say that right? Is that how you say it?
Rotarian.
Rotarian.
Yeah.
And I believe you guys all belong to the same Rotary Club. Why should people look at joining? I know how powerful it is,
Sure.
even though I haven't joined one yet.
You can be my guest.
Tell everybody why they should look at joining a Rotary Club and how it's helped you over the years.
So Rotary came into my life in an interesting way. I just bumped into somebody who was in Rotary he's pretty active at just like sharing it and talking about it. Gave me a card, invited me to a club meeting. He said, you should check this out. And it was not long after we had first moved here. So I'm like, oh God, like not another, networking group thing, BNI kind of deal. I was kind of standoffish on it. I had no idea what it was. So it took me a month to come to a meeting, and I never stopped going from that first meeting.
Wow.
I barely have even missed any meetings, volunteering opportunities. I got involved with the leadership element of it. I was president of our club a couple of years ago.
Which one is it? What club is it? Shout out.
It's Pelican Bay Rotary of Naples.
Pelican Bay.
Pelican Bay. Yeah, which we're super miffed. We had been meeting, and the club was formed like a couple months before I was even born, meeting at the clubhouse in Pelican Bay for the entire time. And then new board members decided that it was a waste of resources to open up and make the breakfast just for us because there was nothing else going on until later in the day. So the staff, was kind of becoming an issue. It was awesome, especially after they remodeled the clubhouse. The ambiance, presentations, it all had so much stick to it. We're in the Hilton now, which we're hopefully able to get into Four Seasons because apparently somebody in there is a Rotarian in Four Seasons. And I want to say it's like the Midtown. There's like 6 or 7 clubs in town. And Fritz and Mick, they're in a different one. They're in the North Naples Club.
Oh.
There's a club that lost their meeting room there when they demoed the beach club that was there.
Yeah, Naples Beach Club.
That are allowed to go back in. So we're trying to get into Four Seasons, which would be great. But I digressed quite a bit from what you asked for. So for me, it gave me an opportunity to be around people that, most of them are retired. It's not too many people of our age that have the time to commit to going to a meeting and commit, family and business and things like that, spend the time going to meetings and volunteering. But I was around a lot of really successful people. The people in my club have had, really successful businesses, own real estate, great people. And the aspect of that that's surprising to most people, you would never know. They're super nice, super giving.
They're at that point where they want to give back,
right?
And you get the benefit from that.
Yeah, I get. You're who you hang out with. At the end of the day, and I look up to those people, which is why it was really difficult to make the decision to be president for the year because you're at the podium, you're running the board meetings. You're making decisions
to a bunch of people that you look up to. So you're,
right. The
putting
people
a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yeah, I grew a lot from that, and I knew I would. I kind of made myself do it.
Cool.
To kind of go up and run a meeting. You're responsible for the flow of that meeting, and just the energy of it.
And you don't just put that together in the parking lot before you walk in. That takes time to plan out and a whole schedule.
Yeah, you have
on
your
top
agenda.
of your job.
Yes, yeah, and at the time I had 2 businesses. I had a glass cleaning company, which I ended up selling because, again, staffing was almost impossible. But Rotary is great for somebody that, you have your business, you have your family, but you want to do something else that really benefits the community. I recently took over the Habitat for Humanity chair position. I had run 2 fundraisers, which I don't know if you have ever run a fundraiser or an event, but the permitting, bathrooms, tents, fire inspection, you have to hire police to be there, the marketing, organizing with it was brutal.
Also, shout out to event planners. There's a lot of involved.
No, you guys deal with more than when you go to an event. It's like a food truck rally, whatever it is. Keep in mind, they've gotten certificates of insurance from all the food truck people. They have organized everything, communicated with everything.
So you don't just do a simple post, hey, let's get together. There's a lot involved.
Months of planning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, usually, the 2 events that I did, if we only had 3 months to plan it, good luck. It's 6 months or more. So when some event happens on a weekend and you stop in there to support it, which is great, people should appreciate it's a ridiculous amount of work. But all that was a Rotary function. Another aspect to that I learned a lot from. I don't know if I'd do another event, but it's been great for personal growth. There's Kiwanis. There's a couple other non-government organization, civic clubs that people can be a part of, but it's well worth it. Schedule it in, make time for it.
Well, having contacts is also a very important aspect of business.
Yes.
And having someone to lean on that is kind of non-biased to your business, doesn't really have a fight in the game. I like that because I feel like you can trust them. Anytime there's money or a decision like that involved, they might lean one side or the other. But so I think that's smart on your part going there. You know, there's people that I obviously look up to outside the business that I lean on for advice, but the name Rotary has come up so much recently that I almost feel like it's telling me I should be joining there.
Yeah, be my guest.
And I love the fact that it might be in the Four Seasons. That sounds really nice.
Yeah. No, honestly, it was disappointing to get out of the clubhouse at Pelican Bay because it's
I think
big
it would
money to be in there.
Oh yeah, I've been in there several times.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But the Four Seasons is even at another level, I think. And
yes,
that's going to be nice.
Oh, I hope that works out. You know, like I said, the Hilton works for now, but I mean, I guess we're spoiled.
Yeah.
We had a pretty.
We're in Naples. We should be.
And the people that come to present, the guy that's the speaker chair, he's 92, owns a bunch of commercial real estate, a super successful guy. I think he had a legal background, stuff with the military. He's brought in like Rick Scott to speak, you know, former admirals.
Oh, wow.
Today we had a presentation on.
Already today?
Yeah, this morning I was in Rotary. It's 7:30 to 8:30.
Is it every week?
Every week, every Friday.
Oh, wow.
We had a presentation on the Olympics in Berlin in 1936. And this guy talked about all the oppression to the Jews and the blacks and just the development of the Olympics over the years, the history on it.
Oh, wow.
And we get that every week. That's another kind of sidebar bonus to me is I get, you know, people from the county come to talk about development, you know, plans. You know, like they talked about that new high school, Aubrey, I think it is up there. And that road's going to connect across right by my shop, the Ferrari dealership that was going to go in, and already 2 of those 3 things have happened. You know, it's just interesting to kind of be in the know locally, plus educated on other stuff from
information
really
is power. And that's really cool. And so is there a speaker every week?
Every week there's a speaker, and this guy.
That's hard to find people. I mean, I know that on podcasting.
Everybody.
That's unbelievable.
But the guy's he's a pit bull. Like you can't say no to him. Like he'll not stop calling you. And he's gone up to Washington and like met with people and said, "Hey, you're going to speak. You're going to speak at the Rotary Club."
What's his name?
John Summerfield.
Shout out John Summerfield.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know you, but I feel like you're a guy that I like.
Oh, the man's brutal, and he gets it done though. It's great.
I love that.
And,
no nonsense.
You know, so much value to that for all of us. So
that was a big catalyst for you when you first started, because when we started, we didn't pick that. I wasn't even aware that was a thing, but we were doing the home builder functions and the chambers, and we would go to those, and it wasn't as structured as it sounds like yours, kind of loosely, but we got to see the same people, and after just going and going and going, before you know it, you start doing business with a lot of these people, and then you find the people that you're benefiting from, they can benefit from you, and you start collaborating. But I am looking to get back into another. I think I kind of fell off of that when I got onto the social media and felt that I could get my message out there to more by being in front of the camera. But I missed that element of the human interaction part of it too. I think that's more powerful.
Well, those networking groups and associations and things like that to get into, they're tough. A lot of them are dry. It's like, everybody's shoving a business card at you. But when people get to know you, get to know your story, get to know what you do, I've done business with everybody in the club, the Rotary Club, and then any of the networking groups that I was a part of.
And they become almost salesmen of your company as well.
Yes. Yeah, use my guy. So, especially in the
that's what Mick did. As soon as we were in the Turtle Club, when the second Tint came up, Fritzy was like, "Oh, Matt. He's a Rotary. Come on, Mick. There's nobody else." So that does carry a lot of weight. I mean, this guy was cheerleading for you big time.
Well, we have a lot of respect for each other because we're doing things that I'm not trying to.
He can vouch for you,
flex on it, but I mean, it's the stuff we do in Rotary is selfless, so we really appreciate what each other is as a person, and Rotary does have a fundamental kind of guide to our integrity, and we speak it the is it beneficial to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and friendships? Is it the truth? Like we model ourselves for integrity. So the people in there are good, honest people. You can't just kind of walk in there and just join to join. Everybody has to kind of, I know this guy, I vouch for him, or a girl, and it's, I think that's why people are so comfortable referring to each other inside that group, because it's not just it's not just like B&I, like you have to refer somebody every meeting, like, oh, I did, even though I didn't want to. So it's a good, honest, wholesome kind of thing.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's nice.
Before we wrap up, any charities that you're involved in or anything that you and your wife are involved in that you want to plug or talk about? And then I'd like to follow, how can people get a hold of you if they're looking to get any work or estimates done on anything?
Sure. Actually, my wife volunteers at the Naples Therapeutic Riding Center.
Oh.
Great organization.
Yeah, where is that? Is that off
right off
Frank
of
and Goodlet?
Yep.
Goodlet Frank?
Yeah, great organization there. Again, with through Rotary, we do things with Habitat for Humanity, which is an amazing cause, especially with the affordable housing issue that we have in this area. I mean, they have a backlog of people to get into those homes, and it's not that it's people that are, completely income free. I mean, people are from $30,000 to $80,000 a year is the threshold, and it's just families that are working jobs and trying get the opportunity to get a home. I think a lot of people overlook that.
It's like we live in Disneyland here, but it takes people to operate that, and it's difficult to find people that can live close enough to do a really good job, because they're driving 2 hours to work, hour and a half to work, because they can't afford. It's crazy.
Well, and another one is St. Matthew's House.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're amazing. What they do for people homeless. People come out of jail and get dropped off there and have a chance to rehabilitate themselves.
It's interesting that you say that, because I travel quite a bit to other cities, and one thing that you don't see at Naples is homeless.
Yeah.
And it's organizations like St. Matthew's House that really, I think, have set a very high standard. I mean, if I was homeless anywhere in the country, I'd want to be down somewhere where it's warm. So you'd think if we were going to be homeless anywhere, it would be around here, right? We're close to the beach, it's warm. But I don't see it. I mean, maybe there is, but I don't see it. But I think St. Matthew's and a few of those other organizations have done a good job really giving people places and fresh starts.
Well, and even the food bank. Well, our club ran through Pelican Bay. I think there was like 60 different communities in there, 60 different, gated, sections in there. Did a food drive, and the support was incredible. I mean, we had pallets and pallets of food that people were kind of donating, and then their food bank is great. I mean, low-income families now, with the cost of food, they have to make a decision. I've got kids. I'm working every day.
Gas or food.
Yeah, gas or food, and it's just great that with everything going on, that there's local operations like that, covering not just St. Matthew's House, things for veterans, and
I'm glad you brought that up. That's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
That's cool.
And that's, again, Rotary. We have our own collections and fundraising, things like that, and it goes right back into that and Quest for Success. The person that runs that's in our, Sue Zumstein, she's in our club, and she's been running that for 25 years, guiding kids. The first college student in a family, like the first college-going student in the family, they have no idea how to get the grants, the scholarships, to put the volunteer hours in during high school, and she guides those people for that.
That's phenomenal.
So,
that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Matt, how can people, if anybody's looking to get any work done, how can they get a hold of you?
So,
and you haven't talked about the showroom either, by the way.
that really, honestly, that would be the most helpful thing for people to do, is to come to our showroom, just because we are working hard. We're doing glass displays. We're buying glass inserts for doors. We're putting our custom films on there. I think that's the most exciting aspect of it, and that's why the automotive part exists too, because getting your car tinted is almost essential for life down here. I mean, just to protect yourself.
50%.
Oh, the heat and the UV.
I'm hoping you do more social media in the in that garage, because those lights, those octagon-looking lights, and the way you have everything painted and organized, and when the sexy cars come in there, it's meant for social media.
Oh.
How is that Cybertruck, by the way, the Tesla Cybertruck?
I thought I was going to hate it, but when I saw it, I'm like, oh man, this thing is. It was hurting me. I'm like, oh, this thing is really cool, actually.
How was it when you got in it? Did you sit in it?
Yeah, it's roomier than I was expecting.
Well built, like you could feel it when you shut the door? Or?
But Tesla's not. They're not a fit and finish kind of company, but just
they are newer though. It's a new company.
I mean, as far as being a car manufacturer, again, Elon talks about it all the time. I mean, that's no joke. To be a profitable,
there's only been.
There's a handful of them.
Yeah, if that, and they haven't even been that successful. Some of them had bailouts. So to even break through and have a that's massive.
That's a lot of respect.
Yeah,
that's not easy.
And that truck's no joke. Isn't that like one of the fastest vehicles on the road? No.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Did you see that video where when he was launching that, they were putting it up, I guess, against maybe a Porsche.
A Porsche.
And they show it, and then it shows it beat it, but it also was pulling a trailer with like another truck on it.
Another Porsche on it.
Oh, Porsche on it. That's what it was. That marketing was unbelievable.
As a Porsche guy, that hurts my feelings a little
really?
bit. But
you respect the marketing.
Yeah, no, I respect the marketing. But if they went further, the Porsche would have smoked them in the long haul. Yeah, they're cool out of the gate, the trucks. But no, I mean, as far as a utility vehicle, though, I mean, What's
it cost for that thing?
Well, what's interesting is you order them like 100, 120, but the lack of production with them, people are flipping them for 180, 190 because you can't get them so quickly.
When does yours come in?
Never getting one. Nothing against it, but it's not for me.
It's not yours.
I want a gas engine.
All right, so they can come in your showroom. Where are you located?
So it's 1045 Collier Center Way, and that's it's a side road off of Old 41.
Yep, right around the corner from us.
Which will soon, according to that presentation I saw, be almost a pass-through area. I mean, there's going to be drive-by traffic bias connecting people sooner, but yeah, it's 10 minutes from here. So
you got a website, Naples Tint?
Yeah, naplestintfl.com, or our phone number 239-397-2444. Showroom's open 8 to 4. No appointment necessary. We love people to walk in and just learn about the car tinting and learn about the residential window tinting.
Well, I'd like to say if anybody's looking to get that done, you heard it from me. Not only have I been referring Matt to our customers, but we've been doing it for about almost 10 years, and not one time have I had an issue. And like I said earlier, every single time I've called this man, he's answered when I called, which is remarkable. I do want to give a shout out. Hi, Mom. But I want to say thank you for coming on our Trade Talks podcast. You can find it on our YouTube channel, Glass Guys. Please subscribe. And thank you. And we wish you nothing but continued success.
And I didn't pay him to say that.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. But I appreciate your relationship.
Yeah, likewise.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.